welcome. This is my Black Friday to Cyber Monday haul video. I've got a lot to show you, some really cool stuff. I did not have quite the budget that I had last year, and that's okay. I still did some good damage around the block here. So I have a bunch of different stuff to show you guys. This is going to be a long video. It's going to be a chatty video. I might break it down into more than one piece. I don't know. I'm going to have links to stores down below in the description if you're interested. If you have any questions about a particular product, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know down below what is your favorite thing. To start with, I mentioned in an earlier video that one of my, well, I've mentioned in many earlier videos that one of my big wishes on my wish list is a Gemini. Just the electronic function and no longer having to hand crank. Just like the worst if you have terrible shoulders. Plus my Cuttlebug needed replacing anyway. It was losing a lot of oomph. It was having a hard time cutting some intricate dies, and like the handle kept falling off, and it was due for replacement anyway. So my husband found on the Facebook marketplace, he found someone in the state of Maine, which is just one state over, we're in New Hampshire, selling the Gemini cutting machine. And for only $35, so obviously he swooped in on it. She's just one state over, but it was still like a 10-hour round trip drive. So he asked if she would ship it, and she would, and she did. So we paid like an extra $26 to have it shipped, which of course is still a bargain compared to 10 hours in the car and the gasoline and all that stuff. So for a total of $60, I have a slightly used Gemini, and I've been using it since I got it about a week ago, and I love it, and it's perfect. Here it is. I have it unplugged a little bit so that I could bring it over and show you a little bit here. It doesn't take up quite as much space as like the Cricut Air does, but it is still quite big, and it is really heavy, so this is not something that I can move around easily, so I made a space for it in the far corner of my desk, and that's kind of where it lives. So this did come in the original box. She kept the original box. Oh, heavy. I'm just trying to get it back into place here. And obviously it came with the instructions, and it came with a bunch of mats here. And they all came in their packaging here. This one, I don't even think she's used it at all. This is the rubber embossing mat. I haven't used this either myself. This is the metal cutting plate. You can see where she used it incorrectly, and it cut into it with her die. Not that big of a deal. It also comes with the magnetic cutting plate, and I don't know if you can tell on the screen that she cut into this one wrong as well. It had the impressions of the die and cut the magnet a little bit with her die. And I figured instead of replacing it, I was just going to go with it and run this through and see if it would work fine. And it works fine. I mean, even if you make a couple of mistakes like that, not a big deal. I've not had use for the metal cutting plate yet. So I'm not sure if this is going to work, or I don't even know if you're supposed to cut into it like this. I actually don't know, but I can tell you that I am not concerned at all about this. And I'm sure that I will use it eventually. This booklet is really great about suggestions and things like that. So far I've just been using it to cut dies, mostly Lawn Fawn and Avery Elle dies, because those are the stamp sets that I've been working with recently. I haven't even had a chance to emboss with it yet, but I hope to get to that pretty soon. Anyway, so this is the magnetic plate. This is the plastic shim. They all came in their respective packaging here, and I threw away the packaging, but I wrote down the name of what Crafters Companion calls each plate on the plate here, so that I wouldn't have to say the packaging, and I would have the name of what it is for easy reference, because they don't go by the same names that like the Cuttlebug uses. And the instruction booklet refers to them by plate, so I figured just an easy quick reference I would just write in Sharpie on here. Similarly, so here's a plastic shim, and we've got the clear cutting plate, and again, this was used a bit. I've obviously done quite a bit more damage to it. For me, for my standards, this has a lot of life left to it. I've used Cuttlebug plates until it's almost entirely white. That one's still really got a lot of life left. And then this is the base cutting plate. Pardon my little dust here. I actually have been doing some die cutting. Anyway, so this is the base cutting plate, and this is the sandwich that you use. It's a base cutting plate, magnetic shim, and then, oh, I think you put the plastic shim underneath. Yeah, plastic shim, base cutting plate, or base cutting plate, plastic shim, magnetic plate, and then the clear cutting plate. And then you feed this into the Gemini, and it automatically grabs it, and then it comes out the other side, and then everything is cut perfectly. The other big difference between this and the Cuttlebug is that you cut upside down on this one, so all of your die cuts, instead of your coloring facing up, it faces down, and that can be a little bit tricky if you haven't adhered things well enough, and you go to flip it over and the dies adjust, and it's a little bit annoying. I wish it wasn't like that, but what are you gonna do? I'm just learning how to adhere the dies a little bit better to my paper with washi tape before flipping it over and getting it into my cutting sandwich here. I'll live. This is an amazing deal, even when you consider shipping for a total of $60. An amazing deal. It's working perfectly, and I love it. I'm so happy and so proud of my hubby. Also in the box came a couple of dies. It looks like she never even used here. We've got this set 1 and set 2 of little Gemini dies, different butterflies and flowers and things. I'm not sure if I'll ever use those. And this one I liked. This border, it's got this tag here, and it's got this border piece. And I think this is maybe a topper to the tag. I don't know. And a couple of large squares. I don't know when I would... About 4 3/4 and 5-inch wide squares, so that's pretty cool. I obviously haven't opened up those or used them yet, but that is the Gemini, courtesy of my husband. That was the big thing that I asked Santa for this year, and I was sure that I wasn't going to get it because our budget's a little bit tight, but hubby came through, and for like a third of what we thought we were going to spend on one. I'm really happy. Okay, so the next thing that I have to show you comes from Michaels. They were having their big annual planner sale thing. You guys might recall I got my 2018 planner from Michaels as well. This is their label Recollections planner. I really enjoyed this planner, but I did have to do quite a lot of customization to it. Like it came with half of 2017, which I didn't need by the time I started the planner in January, so I ended up having to rip those out, and I kind of added my own different sections in there. Like they didn't have anything for budget or whatever, and they also didn't have any really neat customizable stuff that I could do with this at the store. And also I kind of searched on eBay for planner download people, and I didn't really find anything that I liked. So I really enjoyed this planner, but also between that and the fact that I wished probably around February I realized that I may have bought too small and I would have wanted something that was slightly larger. However, I enjoyed this planner. It's obviously adorable. It's a llama. I stuck it out. But it was time to order my 2019 planner. So I went with, after a lot of research, I went with the Happy Planner in the big version. Because this is the size difference here. A little bit more writing space and all of those things. So this is by, I think it's 365 is what it's called. I think that's what it's called. And it's the Happy Planner brand. And the pattern that I picked is this sort of ocean scene here, and it says lose your way to find yourself, which I thought was nice. This was actually my second choice. Unfortunately, the first one that I wanted was sold out both in stores and online. I'm going to do a more in-depth video with this. I know that there's lots of people that love planners. I love planners too, but I'm like a middling planner. I'm not like a super die-hard planner person. I actually use my planner for planning stuff. And budgeting and meal plans and all of those things I use my planner for. So it's not just decorative for me, so I don't overly decorate it because I need the space to actually function. Again, that's kind of why I wanted something bigger versus this medium one, as I was running out of space in here. This one I think is going to be a good size for me. And I do have a lot of stickers and stuff that were left over from last year. I'm going to pull those out and see what I have that I can make work. I'm going to do a whole separate video on setting up my planner, at least for the first couple of months. Or maybe first month. Or one of the things that I like to do one day, you know, get either hot cocoa or something and sit down on a really snowy day and just transfer all of like my birthdays and anniversaries and all of those things. Just get everything transferred over into this planner. I'm not going to save this planner. I might, well, I'm a crafter, so, you know, I might cut out this llama and use it in another project. Or maybe I'll pay homage to this llama by cutting him out and using him somehow as like a decorative piece inside here. Who knows? That's something that we'll work on together. But I will not save this planner. It will actually get shredded and then recycled. So I want to make sure that I'm transferring all of the things that I definitely know that I need, again, like birthdays and stuff into here. So we will do that in a completely separate video. But I really do like this planner. I like the whole mermaid thing. Just some beautiful colors in here, and it's got the calendar itself is a little bit bigger with a little bit more room to write in, and I do enjoy that. One of the things that I was having a hard time with, though, shopping for some accessories to go with this, is that I was having a harder time finding things for the big planner. This is the big one. This isn't their classic size. And the difference between this one, and let me find a page in here that has relatively little writing on it. Yeah, like this week I didn't have much going on, so there's a lot more space. This one is more horizontal in the day, and this one's a vertical. There's a lot more space to write down your day-to-day stuff. And also I do like how this is kind of already in a little bit of list style, so I can put my little tick marks next to this. I think that was one of the things that, let me find a day that I actually did, or a week that I actually did have stuff planned. That was one of the biggest things that I had with like this one, is that just the way that I just didn't like the way that it looked, that I had to do this. I like it that it's going down vertically. It just looks kind of cheesy to me this way. Anyway, I hope that you understand what I mean. So I really do like this planner. We will go through it more together at a later date, but I did want to point out that I did find an Etsy shop that made accessories for this planner. So this leads me kind of into my next part of my haul, because it's all related. There's a reason why I'm presenting things to you in the way that I'm presenting it. So the next thing that I picked up is I placed an order with Consumer Crafts. Sorry, I have to reach for it. So I have to move away from the microphone just a little bit. So I placed a small order from Consumer Crafts. I didn't need too much, but usually whenever I place a Consumer Crafts order, I grab some more envelopes. These are the envelopes that I use for my cards. A2 envelopes, 50 in a pack from Doris. They're less than $3 a pack. So I just grabbed a bunch more of those just to have on hand, because I go through a ton of these. And especially this time of year when I'm making sets of cards to give away as gifts, in addition to making cards to sell, in addition to making Christmas cards to mail out, I'm just going through tons of these. So I figured while I was placing a Consumer Crafts order, I'm not quite low yet, but I might as well, because I will be low by the end of December, so might as well. So, but the big thing that I got from Consumer Crafts, and the reason what brought me to the website to begin with, is that I grabbed this from Create 365, the Happy Planner, the Big Punch, for doing my own custom pages to slip into this planner. And this is one of the big selling points for me on the Happy Planner versus sticking with Recollections, even though Recollections is a little less expensive. And even then, I think this was like less than $15, so it's not that big of a deal. Is that I could make my own pages, and I could punch them, and they would slip right into my printer. So here, I've actually already used it. Here's the actual punch itself. It's big, it's honking. But it does cut. I've already tested it, already been using it. It does cut perfectly, and the things fit right in there. So I was originally thinking, because I was having a hard time finding this, I was originally thinking I'd just get the regular sized one and then try to angle it, the classic size punch, and then try to angle it into, put it in a second time and line it up and try to angle it so that I could just extend upon it. I'm really glad that I didn't do that. I think for just a couple of dollars more, I have something that's a lot less of a pain to use. It seems like a really good quality thing. I've only used it maybe a dozen times so far, but but I'm liking it, excuse me. So this is kind of what brought me to Consumer Crafts, because I think they were doing like a 20% off, plus it was only like $3 for shipping or whatever. So I went with this. Let's pull up the receipt here. Okay, so the regular price on the Happy Planner Big Paper Punch is $25.97, and I got it for $20.78. And then of course the Derice envelopes are $2.37 a pack. And then I saved 20% off that as well. So that's cool. So all 4 packages of those envelopes were $7.58. And I did pay $2.95 for shipping. They do have, at Consumer Crafts, they do have a minimum $49 for free shipping. I couldn't think of enough stuff that I wanted to get that was worth, you know, just paying the $3 for the shipping. I know I normally wait until I have enough stuff to buy free shipping, but I don't use Consumer Crafts for all that much stuff, and I already had envelopes. I was thinking I would get some of those replacement plates that I showed you for the Gemini, because they do sell those at Consumer Crafts, but the ones that I was going to get, they were sold out of, so whatever, it's only $3. So I did get those envelopes, and I got this from Consumer Crafts. And the next thing that I have to show you, which all comes full circle, is I did find an eBay seller who made printables for the kinds of things that I would like to use to customize my planner. And her shop is called Day by Design Planners. And I purchased the, ooh, I've got something that's not something I wanted to show you on camera. Let's just move that aside. I purchased the meal planner inserts. And this one was, oh, it has the total all together here. This was $3.90, and it's 5 different printables, I think it is. And as you can see, I've already printed them and I've already punched them. And they fit perfectly into my little planner. And they're really hard to pull out. But I have already tested them. You'll have to take my word on it. They do slip in very easily. The only thing that I might do differently is some of the ones that I expect to use more of. I'll go through the whole thing and then I'll talk about it as I go. So this is the meal planner sheet. I probably would not use this one for my individual meal plans, but I might use this one for the family meal plans. And the only real meal plan that we do in our family is we plan dinner. Because it's the only thing that all 3 of us eat the same thing. And my husband and daughter eat at school and at work, so it's usually just me that's home for lunch, and I usually just like have leftovers or like a can of soup or something, you know, not really needing to plan by. So if I'm going to use this, I'll probably just use it for dinner as we meal plan our dinner. And I do like this part here because I usually meal plan the week ahead of time. So as I'm meal planning and I'm going through Pinterest and my recipe books and trying to come up with stuff, I can kind of make my shopping list here. As I'm going, like, you know, if I wanted to make spaghetti but I didn't have any sauce or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, this night's going to be spaghetti but I need to grab some sauce, and you get the point. And then I could transfer all that at the end of the week to the grocery list here, which I like as well. I would probably fill this thing right up. When we grocery shop, it's usually we do a big grocery shop maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, and then the rest of the time it's just picking up produce and dairy, you know, in between. So this might be like a whole, and like when we grocery shop, we also have like our other stores on here as well. Like if we have to go to Walmart, we'll have a thing for Walmart. But anyway, you get the point. And then there's grocery lists that I would use. Daily food log, I probably wouldn't use. Not that I don't keep track of kind of what I eat. I've been trying to live a little bit more healthy here on the path to just getting healthy. This probably is a pain. I know me, and I know that there's no way that I would actually take the time to daily food log every day. Plus, I think it might be a little bit wasteful using this entire piece of paper. Even when my doctor, you know, wants to see like a week's worth of food log or whatever, I just write it down like all in one little notebook page. I don't need this whole thing. So this I probably won't use, but it is still really nice. Especially if your doctor has you on a special diet or something. And then here's another version of the meal planner, which I may or may not use, but I do like those first 2 that I showed you, the shopping list and this meal planner here. So these I would definitely use. I did print these on just regular printer paper. And I think that's fine for these because they're going to be more disposable, I guess, than something that's going to stick around in the planner forever. Like once the meal is over and once the groceries are done, I probably will just take these out and recycle them. And I might even print on the back side too, so that I can have one on each side, so I can have them both. And I think, yeah, it lines up fine with the cutting here as well. It's all within the margin. So I might even front and back print these so that I just have 1 week on one page to kind of save paper and then discard it. And then if I wanted to get super cheap, I'd change it and take the coloring out as well and just skip the color. I can spare a little bit of colored ink though. Ink and paper is cheap, but these ones I probably wouldn't use. If this was something, well, I'll show you. So the next thing that I picked up was the finance printables, and this was $7.60. And some of these, like this top one here, for example, monthly expenses, I would keep something like this. I do a page per month in my current planner, so this is more or less the same thing, only this doesn't have a spot for check marks when something is paid, and I will just hand draw it in the side here. But I keep these for the whole year, that way I can kind of review at the end of the year and add stuff up. So these I might print on some cheap cardstock just so that they're a little bit more durable than this computer paper. But I do really like this one here. Again, it's not too far off from what I already use. This one I like as well, the income versus expense, to help kind of line stuff up. The debt tracker here, I might, at first when I first saw this, I was like, but I don't know. I think that I might use this actually. I think it might be pretty helpful, lining everything up together. The monthly budget, I will definitely use this. This budget worksheet, I probably won't. I tend to do, we don't have a lot of these categories that apply to us, and I tend to kind of do my budget on my monthly expenses sheet. So this one I might not use. It might kind of just be something that's combined with this. And the monthly income here I probably won't use. My husband, he gets paid every other week. It's more or less the same thing. we don't have that much income coming in that it requires having a whole separate sheet in my planner to keep track of it. And this bill tracker here I may or may not use. I'm not sure. Again, I kind of use this page to do all that stuff with my check marks, so I may not use this one. But the savings tracker is a really nice idea. We want to open a savings account in a, what is it called? Credit union bank instead of like a real bank. So we may or may, and we want to get a savings account for our daughter as well. So we may or may not use this one. I don't know. But I'm really fond of all of these printables. I love the font, which is kind of what drew me to this to begin with. I'm thinking some of those like hand lettered things, maybe like something that Christina Warner may have drawn or something. I really like these, and I'm looking forward to setting up my planner for reels, which I hope to do in the next couple of weeks, and I will do a video on that with the help of some printables. And I will have the store linked down below for the planner printables. She does a lot of, and she doesn't do just the Happy Planner. She does a lot of different kinds of planners. These were super easy to download. They were super easy to print. No issues whatsoever that you get with some other kinds of downloads. So I would highly recommend this shop. So the last thing that I have to show you was supposed to come from Michael's, and it's planner related, so I'm trying to keep it all together. I wanted to get the Happy Planner Kids kit for my daughter. And this is also mermaid themed, as you can see, so it kind of matches mine, but they were all sold out, so I found this one on eBay. And I think I paid like $18 for it, but it included shipping. It's a little banged up, but it doesn't matter too much. So my daughter is a slob. She's very disorganized. I thought that I might plan with her this year and see if that would help her. This is adorable. It has a Life is Magical, and it's a nice good sized planner for her as well. Just a place where she can keep track of her meetings and practices and clubs and things like that, and also her homework assignments. And it's got some little washi tapes, and I think that's an eraser and some stickers and just some fun things that she can do. And I didn't notice this until just before I was preparing to start filming this video. I'm filming this is after 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, so this is why I'm doing through the planner stuff first. I need to get this put away back into my closet hiding because I'm going to give it to my daughter for Christmas, and I didn't notice it until just as I was pulling it out. It's only from August to next July. What? So it's a year, but it's like the wrong part of the year. And I don't know if they're all like that or if it's just this one that I got. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. It'll get Leah through the school year anyway. We'll see. I didn't know that. And it may not be the way. Anyway, so this is a Michael's item. I couldn't find, they were out of it at Michael's, so I found this on eBay. And moving right along, the next thing that I wanted to show you isn't so much Black Friday, although technically I suppose because we were out shopping last weekend, but it's more of just a product alert. I found these boxes, and I'm only showing you one, but I bought like a dozen of them from my closest Dollar Tree. They're imported chipboard boxes with this bright foil treatment to them. They had two different sizes. There was one that was slightly smaller than this, and I picked up this size, which is about 5 by 7. And I picked this up because I'm making sets of A2 cards for family this year for Christmas, and it's the perfect size to fit card sets. This is a set of 4 cards that I've made, but I'm actually making sets of 10 cards as gifts. So as you can see, the 10 cards that I will use and the coordinating envelopes will all fit in here with no problem. And I'm going to put a little note in here to my family and friends saying, please save this box because I'm going to add to it every year. I thought that that would be really fun, a fun way to present the gift. And again, this was Dollar Tree, so it was just $1. And I was thinking that you could probably also use these as gift boxes. We're going to do our annual family cookie making party in like 2 weeks, and I was thinking that some of our Christmas cookies might fit in these for gifts, but honestly, I probably wouldn't put anything that I had purchased at the Dollar Tree. I probably wouldn't put food in it, but I will definitely wouldn't have an issue putting like my cards and stuff in it. So I just wanted you to show a be on the lookout here for these great little boxes. I found them in the party aisle, and they actually weren't even in the aisle. They were on the rise above the aisle, so they didn't even have any down. They were just stacked up above. And this is the slightly larger. I would suspect that the slightly smaller ones still probably would have fit the cards, but I didn't happen to have like a measuring tape on me or anything when I was in the store, so I decided to just go for the slightly bigger one anyway. And I'm glad I did because it still fits pretty nicely. Again, this is 4 cards. I plan to put 10 in here so that it'll fit more than enough, and then my family can hang on to these, and then every year I will make some more cards for them and add to the pile. So that is my little Dollar Tree. So the next thing that I have to show you, let me grab it. Making a mess here is I did a Staples order online because I had a $25 off coupon off $75, and they had some really great Black Friday deals. I got this 50 pack of Spectrum Noir cardstock. This is my preferred cardstock for my alcohol marker coloring. I happen to use Spectrum Noir markers anyway. I've only ever found it or purchased it in packs of 20, so imagine my surprise when I saw a pack of 50. And I picked it up from Staples, so really good deal. I will look up and get a price on that for you as we're chit-chatting here. Anyway, so what I will end up doing is I will cut these down into quarters, and then I'll get them all stacked up and ready to go for when I want to stamp and color on them. And I did also get, which I don't have here to show you because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, I guess. I did order some more ink for my printer, which is like $60 for the cartridge, the pack that I get, which has both the color and the black and white ink cartridges in it. And I got another refill for my label maker, which I get the best price online from Staples, and a couple things for my husband, like we got an outlet adapter and stuff like that. So the $25 off $75 coupon came in very handy. I think our total bill was right around $60 with that coupon. So anyway, I was really excited to find this. This was, it's a little bit this was $16.89. So a really, really good deal for 50 sheets of this cardstock. This is like a 2-3 year supply for me. Crazy. So the next thing that we have to show you is, I'm sure that you may have noticed that I did not do an unboxing for my November Hero Arts kit. And that's because the kit was again shipped to my old address. I think this is like the 3rd month in a row that this happened. And I know for sure that I'm going in and I'm deleting my old address from their system and I'm putting in my new address. And after I saw that this kit was delivered to my former house, I emailed Heroes and I'm like, what is going on? I've changed it many times. What can I do? And they said, oh, well, you should really contact us to change your address. Well, it doesn't say anything about that on the website. It doesn't say that you have to call them. It says change your address. So I assumed that it changed the address. Anyway, so went to my old address and we couldn't get over there for like 2 weeks to pick it up. Snowstorms and just busy. It is in the same town, but it's on the other side of the town. And when you're busy and when the packages actually were picked up by my former landlord, and she's busy, she's a musician and she plays in bands and travels all over New England, and it's like our schedules just weren't hooking up, so they finally did. So I did not unfortunately do an unboxing, so there was no separate video for the November Hero Arts. I hope to get back on track with that in December once the December ships, but really it was so late and I haven't even had a chance to use the kit, guys. I haven't even opened it. It might be something that, it's a really nice kit. I'm not super super fan of it, so it might be something that I just do a giveaway with. I don't know, but I have the kit here to show you guys. It is really cool. We don't do a lot of Advent stuff in this house, so it was tied with a ribbon, and I kept the ribbon this nice beautiful green color. And then we've got a couple of embossing powders like this shiny gold and this shiny green. I haven't had a chance to use those yet, but I will. And this is the main part of the kit here, and it comes with a red rubber stamp for background, and it's not like a 6x6 stamp. It's like an A2 card size stamp here, and some of the background part pops up so you could use this somewhere else to stamp with, and I thought that was really cool. Really innovative, kind of the way that this puts together. Again, if it was anything other than Christmas, I probably would have been all over it. And then it has this die that it doesn't, it doesn't cut them out completely. I think it just makes little windows. It's actually upside down. Little window flaps that you could open to do a card with an advent calendar in front of it. And then, of course, all these little stamps that you can use to help build your thing. I think it's a really nice kit. It's Christmas, and I'm kind of already done with Christmas. I've moved on with Christmas at this point. It's almost December. And we don't really do a lot of Advent stuff. I know that sounds weird, but just not something that we're into. My daughter gets a little chocolate. It's like an Advent calendar from the grocery store that has little chocolates on it, like a chocolate leading up to Christmas, but then that's about it for Advent stuff. So this is not one of the kits that have screamed to me, but we'll see what's to become of this. This might be like a giveaway or something next year. Who knows? I think that I have covered most of the miscellaneous stuff in this video, and I just basically have some big packages of like stamps and dies to show off next. So I think this video has kind of lingered on, so I'm going to cut it here and call this part 1, and then I'll start filming part 2 to get launched on a separate day from this, just to kind of separate it so that nobody literally has to watch me talk for 2 hours. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed. Please let me know if there's anything that kind of speaks to you from this little haul. In particular, I'm really excited about that planner. Really excited. I'm actually kind of glad that the haul is done and now I can kind of work on it a little bit. We'll see. I will see you again in part 2. Until then, take care. Bye.